Okay.
Oh, that wasn't live. Oh, yeah.
Flattery wasted.
Yes. Welcome everybody to episode number 164 of Pro NoCoders office hours. You can see I'm still adjusting, right? Speaking of rebranding, we are launching the vault today. We are super excited about it. Any minute now, right? Like it's like less than an hour, maybe 2 hours at the most. We're launching this vault. If you want to know exactly when it's launched and ready to go, please go to pronocoders.com/vault. Go ahead and add your email here. Even if you already belong to Pro NoCoders, add your email here so we know that you're excited about the launch. We're going to send out a special email to the people who sign up here. They will know about the launch of the vault, and you will be able to access all the videos that we have already. And very excitingly, you will be able to submit your questions. If we haven't already answered it in the vault, go ahead and submit your question and we will get you a video ASAP to answer it. So we're super excited. And because it's Black Friday and it's our launch, we're going to do a 30% discount for life on the vault. Instead of paying $29 per month, you'll pay only $19 per month for the life of your subscription to belong to the vault if you sign up before midnight on Sunday, midnight Pacific time. So yeah, please go sign up. Hey, Justin.
Hey.
Yeah, you ready to start office hours?
I sure am. Let's
All
get
right.
started.
For those of you who are tuning into office hours for the first time, we do this every single day of the week, Monday through Friday, and we just added a new office hours session. So Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific time, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Pacific time, and our brand new session time that we're going to try out and see how it goes is going to be at Mondays at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. Special request because we have some members who are on the other side of the world from us who need more convenient times. So we'll get started with that this coming Monday. Yep, if you want to join Pro NoCoders office hours, it's really easy. You go to pronocoders.com and it's right there on the page. You can just click to join the office hours and come on in and join us. Ask any bubble question you want. We will try to get you an answer, and we can't promise answers because nobody has all the answers, but you won't suffer alone, and we get it right most of the time. Awesome. With all of that out of the way, Jay, you've got a question. You said you have a general question and then you have an API question for us. So let's get started.
Okay, my first question is about a data structure. So I've got this pretty normal bunch of data types. This is content, and it's got some things that are relevant to the rest of the question. Assigned subject matter experts, and then a bunch of these types of things that describe the actual piece of content. And then it's got stakeholders somewhere in here. So a list of stakeholders.
All right.
So those are the three things that are relevant. Then I've got, what I want to do is have approval flows. So just like how an active campaign, you can drag and drop, actions and assign them to people and do stuff. Well, that's what I want with this. And I'm not worried about the interface yet, like the drag and drop part, just the data types. So this is what's confusing me. I'm pretty sure I need a separate data type for the approval flow itself. That's because a piece of content, it doesn't seem like it would belong here. For one thing, this is for a SaaS, so different customers might not have the same approval flows.
Okay.
Okay, so I think it's connected, my intention is to connect it to a piece of content by, I might be having trouble explaining this, by giving it this. However, the thing is, I want it to be like, excuse the way this looks, I'm just, organizing it. So you can, this is the content itself, it's sorted by all these things. So I want each one of these, I want someone to be able to create a flow just for this particular segment, for instance. And then there might be a different flow if that was technical and the rest of it was the same.
Okay.
One thing was different. So this is where I'm getting confused.
So essentially, okay, let's say that technical, like all of those things that you just mentioned, what are those things called? Like we've got industry, you've got technical is a type of what? Like what are all of these?
So this is the audience, like whether this is a piece of content, should it be for business readers or technical readers and you're in an enterprise?
Okay.
Industry, pretty obvious. And the segments, these are all obvious. There's something that's not displaying that should say theme. And that would be things like background, pain, solution, feature. They're what the content's about. The
Okay.
top, basically.
So this content is an email or it's like what
in-
is the content?
It will be in the database.
I know, but what is it exactly?
So this is similar to the previous thing I was working on with the voice transcriptions.
Okay.
So in this product, a curator who may be a marketer or a salesperson or someone who needs insight sends a request called a prompt, and the prompts are canned or they can customize them. They are delivered to an SME, a subject matter expert, via text, who can then answer them quickly from wherever they are with voice, because SMEs don't have time to sit and type. And they end up on the phone getting interviewed over and over about the same things. So what happens with this is we capture that with this question, they answer it at their leisure, and then boom, it's in the database. And then it needs to get looked at and approved by a number of people in the organization before it becomes, memorialized for everyone in the company to access.
Okay. I think I get the basic premise. I'm not exactly a subject matter expert in this, but what you're saying is that you want to create different kinds of content for different company, or no, for different.
Within the company only.
Mm-hmm.
So a company signs up to this to capture their inside knowledge for themselves to be able to use for marketing purposes and other purposes, and also to save it in case that person with that knowledge, to get it out of their head and into their system, so that if that person leaves the company, goes away or whatever, they don't lose that information.
Exactly.
And that resource.
Okay.
Save and structure insight.
So content is this just like a written article, or is this like
It's a transcription.
a transcript? Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is shortening the time to getting that information, because the SME, the expert, only
Mhm.
has to record their answer. So they just quickly record the answer and it gets saved and then gets transcribed and then stored.
Okay, so when you say start a new request, it's going to request that expert that you define by all of these different fields, and then it's going to ask them the question, essentially.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Okay, and then that question needs to go back into the database and be saved. And then where did the approval workflow? So you need approval in order to ask an expert a question, essentially.
No, once the expert has replied, that
Uh-huh.
content should go through an approval process to make sure it's on point with everything.
Okay.
Someone else may or may not need to look at it, but the option has to be there.
Okay, so that content then comes in. So and then it needs to go to who exactly? Like the admin, or just the person of the user level that's higher than? Like who does it go to for approval?
When you set up the request, you will, some of the stuff is hidden, but you will be setting up approval flows. So the person who does the setup, there's a link here that you can't see because it's hidden right now,
Mhm.
but whoever sets this up when they buy it will set up some approval flows and some prompts. Well, I'll set up the prompts. They'll set up the approval flows. They just have to plug in, let me get to this is still very nascent,
Okay.
but they basically will be something like, where is it? Approval flow. So this would be a place where they would see a bunch of approval flows. what this would say is step 1, name, can edit, can approve. Step 2, name, can edit, can approve. And so as soon as that person in step 1 does their thing and they're done with it, automatically the next person gets it. How they get it, I'm still deciding, whether that's email or a text or what, but it'll be sent to the next person. So it's a chain.
Okay. Okay. And so you need to know how to structure your database in order to do that.
Yes.
Now, the approval flow that you have right now. So an approval flow, you need them to specific content. So can I see your content data type?
So it should be for specific content, but also they should be reusable. Because most of the time, like if it's an industry, like if it's for this product and this industry that we're going to ask for insight, then it's pretty likely that they're going to have the same identical or close to identical approval flow. So that's why I think the administrator, whoever sets it up, should be setting up some rough approval flows that can then be tweaked or changed. But occasionally, maybe they've got an outside consultant or somebody, a board member who wants to get in on it just for that one job because it's super important or something. Then we want them to be able to tweak the approval flow and say, we need to add a person for this one.
So is that how that's set up right now? Is it's a template that you create, like a general approval flow, and then as soon as you create a piece of content, then it will give you that templated approval flow, and then you can edit that approval flow as needed?
Yeah, it'll offer the whoever's making the request, which would be someone like a marketer or a sales administrator, someone like that, and they'll receive the ones that are closest, like, oh, here's an approval flow that is exactly like that matches your request. Use this or alter, or edit approval flow.
So you probably have to think out the UI a little bit more on how you want. Yeah, I think the easiest way to look at this or to like figure out how to structure your database would actually to build a UI first. And then once you have your UI, then you'll know the best way to build your structure. Because I was thinking, like, if you only want one template, then you just add a field on your approval flow that's like, is template ? And that would be a yes or no. And then you can just apply that to every content field. As soon as you create a content, it'll just copy that approval flow. And then based on that content, and then you could do it that way. But if you want to be able to choose from other templates or from other ones, then that would change how to set up the database. So what I would recommend is going to like Balsamic or Figma or something, or just a scratch pad, and just drawing out what you think the UI would be for all of that.
Okay.
Awesome.
I'm thinking about what you said. That's why I was doing, but yeah, okay. I will move forward with that. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, like, because it totally depends. If you want them, if have really clear idea of what you want, then it's really easy to know what kind of database to structure it. But sometimes you build your database before you actually know what you want to build. And then that gets you into trouble.
Yes. I have experienced that.
Sorry to distract everybody with the vault page again. I'm just super excited about our launch.
Yes. I am as well. And the fact that you can ask any question, and we will get back to you right now. This is the special deal right now at the beginning.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So if you sign up at the vault page, put your email in here, you'll get a notification when you can actually go and buy the vault. And we're doing 30% off for life if you sign up before Sunday at midnight Pacific time. So
we can ask anything we want.
Anything you want.
What's custard made of?
What's what?
What's custard made of?
Yeah, like we're your proxy for Google searches.
We're gonna
we will Google it and get back to you, Calum.
Thank you.
What is custard made of? I'm literally Googling that right now. Ooh.
I have no idea.
Cream and egg and milk and vanilla and cornstarch and sugar and yolk and vanilla extract. You can ask anything.
Thank you, Siri.
Sometimes the answer will be no.
Sometimes it'll be like, if you ask a why question, the answer will be why not?
Yeah. But if it's bubble related, we'll get back to you.
Yeah. Calum, do you have anything for us today?
No, nothing specific. Just thought I'd jump on and see you guys.
No. Oh, okay. Well, we're happy to have the company. Do you want to show the new branding for the circle?
Can do, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We've got another Pro NoCoders launch happening soon. Calum is going to be launching the circle. You said January 1st.
January 1st. Yeah.
Awesome. We're excited for
Is
2022.
this One Life?
No, it's the circle.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the circle now. Get it up. I'll log out and go to the login. Who
No
should we
worries.
sign up? Can you stop sharing? Oh, there we go. Perfect.
Yeah, you can kick me off of sharing now.
Cool. So yeah, this is the new branding.
That looks nice.
Who should we sign up? Let's sign up Justin.
Yeah, sign me up. Against my will. Let's do it. Oh, at Gmail. Oh, I wish I had that.
Yeah,
email.
everyone has the same email address for all the fake users. It's just first name dot last name and exactly the same password. Very secure. And then at JDog.
J-Dog. Ooh, nice.
J-Dog.
There's a W in there, Calum. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's AWG.
Yeah. Jeez.
I
Come on,
apologize.
man. It's like you don't even know me.
I know.
What's my second name? What does that mean?
That's
Is that my
in-
last name?
Yeah, last
Where can
name,
I
but
Where can I nick a picture of you? Pro NoCoders is one of those.
Yeah.
Or-
Or you can just Google my name, Justin Hume. You get a really
Oh, do you
weird-
come up?
Oh, yeah. And my kids come up too. It's kind of strange. There we go. There's quite a few
There
of
you
me.
go.
Yeah.
That one will do.
My wedding photo. Love it. That was only 15 years ago.
yeah,
Well,
my
Very up to date one.
Yeah.
Download.
my wedding photo outlasted my marriage.
What does that mean, Tonya?
It means I'm divorced, but if you Google my name, you find my wedding picture.
Okay. I think that'll be the case for everyone.
It's probably
Anyone who got divorced, yeah.
well,
Or-
and even after, you
Yeah.
know, yeah.
Find the picture. It's not letting me find the picture for some reason. Let's just use a picture of Elon Musk that we love. There we go. And you're not female. I need to do that. Nope, you're not non-binary. I probably should have
I
asked.
think I'm male, but I'll let you know.
I'm just gonna
It
put in
changes.
a random date of birth so we don't shout about what your date of birth is on here. Let's do something that's not going to be offensive. Let's call it 1985.
85.
So before
Ooh.
85 is offensive, Jay and I are
No,
offended.
Pissed off.
I no comment on that. No comment.
You are from Bolton in England now.
Of course I am.
Obviously, you can tell by the accent.
Yeah.
Which would be funny if you knew how people from Bolton spoke, but
Yum. I can't do an accent. I won't try. It'll be so racist. Okay. And every accent I do either comes out as Jamaican or French. So, and then it eventually evolves into some kind of Indian accent. So I'll really
Yeah.
stay away. I'll stay away as
Yeah.
far away from accents as I can.
There we go, and that's the homepage. So who should we follow first? I think we should follow me because everyone should follow me. Look at all
Oh,
the people. We've got David Kirkpatrick, Elon Musk, Mark Andreessen,
God, everyone.
Greta
Even
Thunberg,
Tonya. Oh,
Tonya, Reid Hoffman, Warren Buffett. I mean, the early sign-ups to this have been fantastic. Jeff
I mean,
Bezos.
yeah.
What member number am I?
I don't know. I need to track that. I think you're number 2 or 3.
Okay, good.
Definitely.
You've got the president of the United States. I love this. POTUS.
Francis Underwood. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Where am I on this? Oh, there I am. Lovely. Let's just follow me. Fantastic. So we should now see my posts. Oh, also, I found a way. So the obvious issue of having a repeating group that you can't freeze because it's dynamic data. Oh, look, there's my dog.
Ooh,
I
Benji.
fix that by, so if I just do test post, I will do it. So when you click this, it updates, but you won't see it there. So I've now got the refresh button. So what it's doing is it's only showing posts from, there you go. It's only showing posts from before so I've set a data type of last refresh, and that's like current data time when you click refresh, and it only shows posts from before that, because what I assume when you get more users, if you kind of scroll the feed and you have people posting, the feed jumps around all over the place. So yeah, and then there we go. So
Cool.
hashtags that work.
Hashtags.
Lewis Hamilton. Actually, Lewis Hamilton's profile doesn't work. Can anyone work out why Lewis Hamilton's profile doesn't work?
Do you have a, can we, what's it called? Debug mode?
There. No. I know why it doesn't work, but can anyone tell from there why it doesn't work?
Because it has a hashtag in it?
Indeed, yes. That took me about 3 days to work out, but that was the only one that didn't work because it was actually separating them out as a hashtag and a username. Yeah, and then we can look at events. Amazon Prime Day, which I believe was a couple of days ago. I think you should attend that, don't you, Justin?
Yeah, I attended that. Yeah.
Now you can see all the details. Obviously hosted by Jeff Bezos.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so this is the circle.
This is impressive. The amount of work that you put into getting Jeff Bezos on here is just incredible.
I know, fantastic. Do you want to see if you can match with? You can do it like you.
Yeah. I'm going to say no to that one. My wife would kill me. No. I'm going to say yes to that one. Yeah.
Reed Hoffman.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. Nice.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah. Okay.
You're right. Not there then.
No. How about Calum? Oh yes. Yeah, two hearts for that one. 2 hearts for that.
I need to introduce the super light.
Okay. Oh, Leonardo again. I really didn't want to, but I guess so. Francis, he's 62. Ah, man. You know, guys age like good wine, right? So let's say yes, right?
Absolutely. We've got Jack Dorsey.
Nah. I'm okay.
Let's see if he said anything. He hasn't even said anything on his profile, and he's unverified, so it's probably not actually him, to be fair. Although we could send him a message, couldn't we? Say,
yeah, it'd be like, update your profile pic, you weirdo.
Update your profile. There we go. Send that message to him.
Yes. And he's on. Wait, now I can see his profile pic. He did. He updated it.
That's broken. That's showing his worldwide profile picture. I need to update it depending on what circle it's in.
Oh, I see.
Photos either. So yeah, you've got all your stuff here. I can write a post from here.
I love the animations. They're so crispy.
Go to my messages. No, bug. Oh, thank you. There we go. Messaging. All my messages. We've sent it, but he hasn't seen it, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, oh man.
I know.
People need to respond quicker.
Yeah. I know they do. But I actually, I know why he hasn't responded, because we don't have notifications set up using Firebase yet. We have the internal ones, but we don't have the other ones done.
Well, we got to get on that.
We do. I'm planning on speaking to Gura about that, because I don't know how to do Firebase notifications, which is a bit annoying. But I'm sure I'll find a way. Especially, I think when I convert it via BDK, that'll be when I do that.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've just spent a bit of time doing the UI over the last couple of days. But yeah. Oh, look, 2 ticks. He's seen the message.
He's seen the message. That's incredible.
He has. Oh, he's replied as well. Wow, what a surprise. You look hot. Justin, you dirty dog. Oh, dear.
You saw it here first, folks.
Beautiful. I love it.
Do you have a pre-launch? Do you have a pre-launch page where people can sign up for knowing about your launch?
I don't yet know. But, I shall be doing that. I shall do it. The website's live. Oh, hello. How did
Oh,
that end up there?
he sent a photo already.
Of me.
That doesn't look like
How
his
did you do that?
profile picture. I think I'm being
Yeah, nice shake of beard.
Fished.
catfished here. Oh no.
Oh,
That's too
dear.
bad. What happens if you click on that button, not button, the hole in the wave? above?
That one.
Yeah.
Nothing.
should-
That
make
should
the
be a
whole
button.
Yeah, you should
It
make the
should-
whole
okay.
thing just explode.
It should be, and I was going
Yeah.
to put like profiles there or something, but the problem is because it's a image as a background and the responsive settings for putting an icon there, it won't always be within the circle. And because it's just an image, I can't track where that circle is going to be on all different types of devices. I did test it.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah, let's have me as a friend anyway. There we go. I'm a lucky girlfriend. Send her a
Oh,
request.
very
What friends?
nice.
Oh, hey, Tonya. My post. Anyway, yeah. So that's where we are so far.
Wonderful. Very nice. Thank you. I hear hysterical
Awesome.
laughing in the background.
That'd be Jay.
Awesome. All
I
right.
mean, we've
You
been
mean-
talking about the circle since our very first episode of Office Hours, and we're on episode number 164 today.
And it wasn't
Oh.
even called office hours then.
No, it was just it was an 8-hour Zoom call with Calum and Jay. I just posted in the group, the Pro NoCoders Facebook group. I just said, I'm going on Zoom if anybody wants to talk bubble. And 2 seconds later, Calum popped in the Zoom and I was shocked. I was like, whoa, that was fast. And then Jay, you popped in about 4 hours in, I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't have lasted 8 whole hours, even though I can hang on the phone a long time.
So it was
It
great.
was like 3:30 in the morning my time when we finished. Like
Yeah.
I was very drunk that first section. I think
Yeah,
it
there
was
was-
like 3 bottles of red wine.
Yeah, it was great. Well, and here we are. So
Here we are. 164
Thank you.
8-hour sessions later.
thank you both for helping to get Pro NoCoders off the ground, because it's my favorite thing.
No worries, and thank you for the 33% equity.
I don't even have 33%.
Awesome. All right. Well, we have a couple questions I'm going to toss at you, Justin, from our Facebook page, actually.
All right, sounds good. And Jay, I'll get to your question about API.
Yeah, no rush.
Okay.
If you are watching us live, don't forget pronocoders.com/vault. Sign up now, because in less than 2 hours, we're actually going to send you an email inviting you to join the vault, and you will never see this price again. We will never lower the price below $29 again. So sign up for $19 per month today. From our Facebook group, Imran asked us this question: if I'm making a marketplace like Fiverr, then what are the fields that I need in the database? By default, there's the user, but do I need to make a buyer and seller? So basically, we're looking at a marketplace database structure.
Oh, okay. All right. So a good marketplace database structure.
Do you want to share your screen, or
Yeah,
how do you
I'm
want to
gonna
tackle?
I am going
Cool.
to steal it from you. There you go.
Awesome. I love it when that happens.
Yeah. Usually I can't do it because people are too quick. All right. So a database structure. Let's jump into Bubble and create a database structure for a marketplace. Essentially, you're going to create a user type, and then you're going to create a user role. That's going to be is this the sandbox here that we're using?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. Done. I have too many tabs. Let me remove. There we go. Okay. So on here, I am going to look into the database. Looks like I have a lot of things. This might confuse things more than anything. But essentially, what you're going to be looking for is in the user type, you're going to need a role. Where is role? There we are. So you can see that it's already set up in this app. All Canvas apps come with it already installed. But what I could recommend you doing, it's not It's not the, I guess, the best option, but you can always go to the Bubble templates and look up a free marketplace template and have a look at their database. I would be wary of the free templates. But if you were to jump on, you can look at the data structures that they have, and it should lead you in hopefully the right direction. So I'm going to have a quick look here to see if we can't get a quick jump start. So I'm going to go ahead with Marketplace. I'm going to look at, yeah, here we go. Easy Marketplace is created by Easy Code. Easy Code, in my experience, is pretty decent. They've got some good stuff out there. So let's have a quick look. Sometimes you got to be careful with, it was 2 years ago that it was created and it was recently updated. So it looks like this could potentially be very good. So let's have a preview of this. I don't know if it allows you to see the editor in the preview. Don't think so. So this would be more of like a product marketplace, but I think that it'd be pretty easy to transfer it over into a, so let me go ahead and use this now. Go to my apps. I'll create a new app specifically for that. So I'll call it, yeah, blah marketplace. I don't think that's taken. If that is taken, I'll be very excited. Marketplace, no, here we go. Details, I'm talking on camera. Is it customer? Yeah, just playing around. Okay, create a new app. I can't remember which ones of these are not required. Okay. Then it's going to probably open up the assistant. I'm just going to close that for now. And let's have a quick look at the database and we can evaluate how good it is. So we have item and category. I guess you would probably, if it's Fiverr, you'd probably want something like service and category. And they have, looks like all of these different fields that you could potentially use. So if you were to use this template, for example, you'd probably want to delete anything that you're not going to use or rename. Once you're done renaming and deleting, I do recommend that you go into General tab and do Optimize Application. It will analyze your application and it will actually allow you to permanently delete those fields so that they're not taking up any space in your database or, yeah, you can see here are all the deleted fields. So I'm just going to unselect everything else and then just get rid of those and permanently delete those fields. One thing with setting up a database in Bubble is that you can sometimes create more fields than you need. And while it doesn't take up a ton of space, having 400 deleted fields in the background definitely makes a small impact. And so you can clean it up in this way. There's a lot of other cool things that you can optimize in that way. And if I jump back into the application, database rather, you can see there's a news type. You probably wouldn't need any news. You have orders, which are definitely very important. If you want to do a Fiverr marketplace, you're definitely going to need some kind of messaging so you can go back and forth. And you would not only have to have on your order type, you would like date placed and the ordered item and the, I guess it would be service and the total price. You'd also want to keep track of things like the files that have been uploaded between the two clients. I mean, it definitely depends on what kind of marketplace, what kind of Fiverr marketplace you're trying to create. But yeah, essentially, that's what you're looking at. And if we have ordered item, I don't really know the difference here with why they have an order. Oh, it's because they can buy multiple of something. In this, in Fiverr case, that's probably not going to be the case. But you definitely want one under user called role. And I don't see that one here. I would recommend putting in one called role. And I would make it an option set. So you can see the option set's not set up yet. So I'm going to go to option sets. I'll create role. And for a role, you would want three different roles. Would definitely be an admin for you to be able to log in and do special things that other people can't. And then you would need a seller and a buyer. and they will see different things. Now, one thing that you might want to think about is, can a buyer upgrade into a seller at any point? And can a seller buy services from other people? And if they can, then maybe you just make everybody a buyer and a seller. But if you don't set up your seller profile, then your profile, then you're not actually, how can I explain this? You're not actually you won't see any of the things that are relevant to sellers. For example, you won't have a seller page or anything like that. You'll just have a way to update your seller profile if you wanted to become a seller. So that's basically how I would go about kind of setting up a database like that. I mean, you might get lucky and get something that's like Fiverr already. Yeah, there we go. Freelance platform like Fiverr, and it's free. It's from Now Life. Let's preview this thing, see how good it is. You really want to be careful. Oh, this looks pretty decent for a free template, but let's see what it looks like in mobile, because that's the challenge. Ooh, okay. This looks decent. I mean, it doesn't have all of the things up there, but it looks like it's well designed, and a well-designed app doesn't always mean that it's efficient, but in this case, it doesn't looks pretty professional. So I think there's your answer right there.
Sorry? How are you putting the mobile around it? Like, obviously, I know how to view it like that. How do you actually put the mobile, like?
Oh, you right here, you just do show device frame, and you have to choose.
Cool,
you have to choose one of them that has a device frame, like the iPhone X doesn't. I think the Pixel doesn't either. The iPad does, but it's the old one. Yeah. And then the cool thing is you can also take a screenshot. So if you capture a screenshot, it'll include the panel around it as well. So that makes it easy to take screenshots for your app.
Hey, well, how do you do? I've been struggling with this for ages. I've been screenshotting my phone and it goes through weird. How do you do the screenshot? Sorry. Oh, capture screenshot.
Yeah, capture screenshot. So you can do a capture screenshot to just take what's on the page, or you can click capture full size screenshot, and that'll scroll all the way down and give you a full long view of it.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you can see like that. It'll give you the whole shebang as a ping file.
Sweet.
Yep, super useful, super useful. Maybe you want to clip this, Kim or Pablo or whoever's in charge of clipping. This is how you take a screenshot. All right. Sounds good to me. I think that pretty much answers it. Tonya, is there, actually, let's jump to Jay's question, and then we'll come to the next Facebook one, if that's okay with you.
Yep.
Jay, so you want people to connect to your app through the API? Oh, Jay, are you still there?
Sorry, I forgot I was muted.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
that is what I want.
All right. So there's two different ways of doing this. You can do create webhooks. So you can go to your backend workflows. You can set up a new API workflow, and then name it whatever you want, as long as it's kosher. You can't have spaces, obviously. You get issues if that happens. Workflow names should not have any spaces. I think it can't have any symbols either. It shouldn't even let you type symbols. I guess those symbols it allows. But yeah, just keep it letters and underscores if you can. So once you have your API workflow, you can expose it to the public API workflow, and then you'll want to detect request data. You click request or detect data. You copy this in, and then whatever application that you're dealing with, you can basically give that application this endpoint in order to initialize and see what data comes in. And then based on the data that comes in, you can do a whole bunch of cool things. You can actually return information. So you could return data from an API. You can just add parameters. So for example, I want to say the price of a product. I could just go in here and then it would return, let's say, I don't know.
But isn't this to pull, for data to be pushed from, like?
No, it's interesting, Jay. This is better than what I told you to do. So everybody who is watching the episode from Wednesday, forget what I said and do what Justin is saying instead. This is smarter because this is the way that you can differentiate the probably even, I don't know, Justin, require, because what I had talked about was if you go into the settings and into the API and you expose an endpoint, but the thing I couldn't figure out was if she has different customers, how are you going to authenticate which things to share with different customers?
So I can talk about that as well. So
Okay.
that is also possible because you come with Swagger API documentation. I don't know if you know what Swagger is, but it defines it. Basically, it's the documentation for your Bubble app API. So if I look into Swagger specification, it's right here. So you grab your app name. So for example, let me enable it. It is enabled right now. Give me something. Give me dummy data type. Having emojis, I really don't like having emojis in the data type because I don't know if every programming language is going to have problems with them or not, but I haven't worked with emojis enough to know. So let's not use that one. Let's use, is there anything in the database that has anything with it? User, probably, hey?
Yeah, user's probably the best one.
So there's 3 ways to set this up. 2 ways rather to set this up is you can just give them an API token, right? That's the simple way. That's if you want them to have access to everything, or if you want to have them to have their access to only the things that they have access to, you need to create up a third-party app. So you'd create a third-party app, and then you give them the client ID, the client secret. They set up all of the things that they need to do, and then it uses OAuth in order to authorize them as the Bubble user. So they have to log in with their Bubble. So you probably redirect them to the login page. You redirect them to the login page when they go to sign up. It'll have them log in with their credentials, and then it'll treat the application as though, or it'll treat all of the data as though they were logged in as that user on your app. Let me show you that Swagger documentation while you're processing what I just said. The Swagger documentation, if you just go, I think, what was it, November Sandbox was the app ID? Is at /API/1.1/meta/swagger.json. And then you get basically a whole bunch of information about how to deal with the app. So you can just copy that whole thing and you do swagger.json to PDF. There's a whole bunch of these servers. So I'm just going to give them the URL, paste URL, click generate. Takes its sweet time. We did this for a few different clients, actually. You click download. And then on this screen, it appeared. Woohoo. It's a very large document. Just froze my PDF. Okay. And oh, come on. There we go. Yeah. And you can see here's all the information about how your how it works, everything. This is all the documentation on how like what responses you're going to get from different flows, how to do like check requests, the different workflows that are set up in them, how to post data, all of that is already there, good for you to go.
So you're saying that basically this is what I need to show one of my customers with a few changes, like the endpoints would be different? No, the endpoints would be exactly what they're mentioned in here. But that doesn't account, does that account for my unique database?
Yeah, this is Swagger data. So every single Bubble app has their own Swagger documentation.
Okay.
Yeah. And so this is based off of, like, for example, if I look through here, oh, that's one thing. Sorry, that's one thing I forgot to mention. When you do this, if you go into your your privacy rules, once you enable it, like for example, in user, I have to define a rule. Or just say current user is admin or whatever. But you'll see create via API, delete via API, modify via API. And once you update that, your swagger.json will also update and say, okay, now people have access to the user type and they can delete it and they can update it and they can create new ones, for example. And so all of this documentation is like dynamically updated based on what you put in here. It dynamically updates all of the API workflows that you have here. And it will also dynamically show all of the documentation for any of the data things that you allow.
Dynamically updated to do what?
To explain how to interact with the API. So this documentation, if I were to download it again, it would have another page that shows how to create a user, a new user. It would
Because you
show
made that change.
Yeah.
So this updates all the time. Okay, and then I have two questions about what you said. What were they? So when you go, my system's hung up, so I can't just check it because, you know,
Yeah.
because I'm following along and I just stalled the whole thing out. So where you are right now in the privacy rules,
Mhm.
A minute ago, one of them had modify or enable APIs.
Mhm.
But now it doesn't. Where did you make that happen? Is that by clicking the data enabled box in the settings?
Yeah, exactly. So when you enable the data API, you also have to enable it for that specific item. And then you have to go into the privacy rules and then specifically say like what they're allowed to access and what they're not allowed to access. If that makes
Gotcha.
sense. Yeah.
And then, okay, so, all right, I'm following along. I just did that. That looks good. And then in terms of a SaaS, how do I restrict it so they're only getting their company stuff?
So you would do the third party OAuth. So this is one thing that's kind of annoying is every time somebody wants to connect to your, like an app wants to connect, you have to go in here manually and add a new third party app. So let's say that your client wants to add an app that connects to you. So you'd create a third party app. What's your client's name? I don't know, give me
Cyberdyne.
Cyberdyne is what I heard.
Close enough.
Okay. So you would give them, or they would give you the redirect URI, which is what you will send them back after they log in as a user.
Say it again.
So they would give you, like, for example, let's say that they have a, so it'd make more sense if you told me what is the use case, like what are they trying to do?
Get the content out of this system, out of my new app into their other apps, which may be a CRM or a content management system.
Oh, they just want to pull data? Okay. It's way easier just to use the backend workflows here. So basically they would post what user they want the data from. You would give them the unique ID of the user, and then you would post, and then they give you the unique ID in the post to this endpoint. And then you could just, because is it private information? That's the one thing. Is it private? Like, is it a big deal if someone else got a hold of it? It would be.
Yes.
Okay. If it will be, then yeah, you would want to set this up. So for example, Cyberdyne, how are they? So they're pulling information. So I'm a little confused. So like their users also have an account on your Bubble app, or no?
Yes.
Oh, they do. Okay. So what you need them to do is to sign in with their Bubble account.
I think that there's some confusion, and the confusion is most likely on this end. I don't want users to be able to go grab individual things. I want to set it up so that the content, the data that's being captured in my app is available to other apps in their technology stack. Like, for instance, the customer relationship management technology.
Exactly. But you want this to be guarded per
Yeah.
user on a per
Yes.
user basis, right?
On a
Not on a per
company-
app basis.
per company basis.
Per
When you
company.
talk about a user, I think maybe there's some confusion. So, excuse me. It's a SaaS, so there may be, you know, a gazillion people in the company using it, but that company, their stuff is IP. It needs to be protected. Their stuff is intellectual property. It can't be shared with, like, you know, it's Cyberdyne Corporation should only see content from Cyberdyne Corporation, or only have access to it. Does that make more sense?
So when a user is using their app, they don't have a Bubble application. They don't have a login to your Bubble app. Like, each user of their app doesn't. It's just like the app itself has a connection, is what you're saying.
I don't think I understand your question. Several people, not all users in Cyberdyne would be able to get into it,
Okay,
but the ones who would, but many would.
within Cyberdyne, do
Mhm.
different people see different things?
Yes.
Okay, so you don't want everyone to be able to see everything, right? From Cyberdyne. People in Cyberdyne,
Right.
there's like admins that want to see admin information, and there's like lower level users that want to see like lower information, right? Okay, there's many different ways of dealing with this. You can have Cyberdyne themselves like set up privacy rules. They just get all of the information at once, and they set up the rules for privacy. Or you can say everybody has to have a Bubble login, like a login to my app, in order to access all that info. And so basically the first time that they go and log in, they have to log in into your app. And then once they do that, then all of the information can freely flow into their app, if that makes sense, or their apps.
Okay.
So it sounds like, to me, the easiest thing for you would be for them to use a private API key, and then on their end, sorry about that. On their end, if they just separate it by privacy rules.
So this, from it looks like, then how is that API token label getting generated? That needs to be automated.
What do you mean? This is
Like,
this would say Cyberdyne.
oh, and that's it. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
you
a
just give them an
label, it's not a
API key.
number.
Yeah.
So they only need the private key. Okay.
And then they filter what data goes to who. And then you filter, they only get Cyberdyne information, but they only get, what's the word? Like, you only give them Cyberdyne information, but they only give out the information within Cyberdyne to the correct users. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it would be going into their other systems. So it's not directly going to a user. So whatever those systems are set up as would be what their privacy rules are.
Right.
So that's not really, that's not that's a problem on their end. That's not my issue, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically I'm separating out the tenants by giving them different private keys. So how does Bubble know that private key is only for content that is generated or associated with Cyberdyne?
Well, because you would need, on your backend workflow, you would have to make a very specific workflow just for them. Make sure that it has to be run with authentication. Okay, so don't check that box. And then you would instead of doing detect, you would set up the key as they need a specific ID. And then only when the ID is let's say, what did you say the name was? Prodigy Dime or something like that. When the ID is Prodigy Dime, then it will allow this. And they also have to have the API key. So not only do they need the API key, they also need to know the ID in order to access this point.
Is
And
there
so-
any way, okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, sorry.
So this is a manual process on my end. How do I make it automated?
How many apps do you, like, how many companies are you envisioning doing this?
I mean, God willing, super many.
Oh, yeah, right.
Answer that question.
Are we talking 10? Are we talking 1,000? Are we talking 1,000,000? Like, what are we thinking?
5 to 12.
5 to 12,000?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't want to sound like an optimistic fool, but you don't know.
So then
Do you
instead
mean
of,
you don't know the unit of measurement of super many? Is that not a unit of measurement you know, Justin?
Super many. It's got like 4 zeros, an X, and a weird symbol. Kind of like a worm.
so if that's the case, you would want to go with, oh no, not even the third party app, because every company that comes to you, you'd need to add that manually. Bubble is not built to create APIs like on the thousands or like hundreds per month or anything level. You have to do that manually. You could give all of them the same API key if you wanted to do that just with one, and then have them separated by one ID. But that is crazy dangerous, and I wouldn't.
No, I don't
recommend
want to do
that.
anything like that. I don't want to risk that. That would destroy the, if there were customers, that would destroy their faith if there was a mistake, and opening up to lots of liability.
Yeah.
Is there a third-party product of any sort? Like, I don't know what Rapid API is really. I just hear people talk about it. But is there something like that where I can have something else handle the API?
Yeah. I mean, you could have them tie into that service, and then that one just redirects it, and then they have their own API key, one that deals with Bubble. And so
Basically, are you saying they're kind of like a broker where I give them access and then they share out access to all comers?
mhm.
Okay.
I know you could do something. I'm not sure if Pathfix would work specifically for that. But Pathfix is the same thing, but the other way around. It's like multiple Bubble or like any application can all use Pathfix in order to access the same place. So they kind of deal in the opposite way. Whereas what you want is, something that will create authentication for a whole bunch of different people, and then you just deal back and forth with that one thing.
So I imagine I have never worked in an enterprise IT department, and I don't know how it would work, but I would imagine like my goal, like they're not going to know what Pathfix is. I can't make it hard for them. It has to be something kind of like what they'd expect to get from, a company, a real company, not my company. You know what I mean? So I want it to be like, I can ask them to request API access and then do that manually, because, how many a month are there really going to be?
I would, Jay, I would start with that. And then if you start getting a lot more, then invest the time to like building in something with like Rapid API or something where you deal with one. Because then you'll have the funds to have someone do it for you too, right?
Yeah, I can just pay someone in a different time zone to do it all night, just, deliver API keys. And if they have them within 8 hours or 20 hours or something, they should be happy. If you get
Right. But I was thinking like you just pay someone to build like the broker that we were talking about.
maybe.
But
So
go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, you would want to do that after you've proven that lots of people are doing this first. Yeah.
For sure. I'm not building this out yet. I just kind of want to know what, I'm thinking about what's next so I can keep an eye on what I'm doing. And also so I can learn stuff. So I'm sorry I've asked this question twice, but I still don't understand how the differentiation between the companies work. So with a third-party app, can we talk about that third-party app thing a little bit more? Can you go in a little more detail? I don't really think I understand what this is.
This third-party OAuth. So
Yes.
third-party OAuth, it's the same thing as an API token, except not only do can you just give them the API key and that's it. You also need to give them a redirect, or they have to give you a redirect URI, and they also need a client ID and a client secret, and then they need to log in with your bubble application. They actually physically log in with your bubble application, and then the application will treat every request from this place as though it was coming from that user. So all of your privacy rules work for that user.
So this is similar to logging into an app with Facebook or Google.
Yes. Yeah.
And
But it's using your bubble app to log in. Yeah.
yeah, and because they're using the client ID and the client secret, or one of them at least, I
Mhm.
guess, that's how they know that it's just this company. And then, so, but once that's set up, like how does the database know, only give them stuff that, you know, every single data type I've put in a parameter, you know, a field for company, so that every single thing has their company name in it. You know what I mean?
It works the same way as though they were that user. So when you reference current user, it's referencing this user. And so if you want to, like, for example, if you want to give them the list of all, all the hotels, for example.
Okay.
If you want to give them the list of all the hotels, you can either in this way, just like enable in settings, you would go to API, and then you would enable hotel, wherever hotel is. Stupid hotel. Can't find it now. There it is. Okay, it's already enabled. And then go to hotels privacy rules. You need to create a privacy rule. Be like, yeah, sure, whatever the name. And then allow them to modify, delete, create, probably just modify, or just to find this in search is actually probably enough. You don't need them to modify or anything.
No.
And so once
And
you
then
have,
when it could say something like when this hotel's company is Cyberdyne, and then the
Yeah.
rest would be allowed. Is that the privacy rule?
yeah, so let's search through here. Hotel. Oh, did I refresh? Come on, let me find this. Maybe it wasn't named hotel before. Oh, you know what? It's probably not a list item. That's what I list. Search. I don't understand why it's not finding any of this stuff for me. Okay, let me, I don't want to show the raw. Let me pull open that, yeah, this one here. So here's upload, here's send emails, here's your post, update page, check request. Triggers the workflow check request. These are all for your backend workflows. Yeah, all of this is for your backend workflows. None of them are referring to the, like, editing the data. Okay. Let's close that for a second. Let me pull open the actual bubble documentation, because they talk about that in there. So if you look at using the API and you check this section right here. So this is the endpoint. So they would get your app name or whatever the domain is. And then it's the object name. And then it's the type, or sorry, it's just object. And then it's type name. And you replace type name with whatever. So it would be hotel, for example.
Right. Gotcha.
And so they would retrieve, you probably want to get a list of things and search. So you would do object and then type name, change it to hotels, and you only want to show hotels that are relevant to them, right?
Yeah.
So what you would do is in your bubble app, you would say You can't find it in searches if it's everyone else. You can only find it in searches if this hotel's creator is, whatever it is. Like, for example, is the current user, or the current user's first and last name is, like, you can change all of that. I wouldn't use first and last name, but it will only return the information relative to the current user if you do a search for it. And
Gotcha.
that's true in Bubble, right? So if someone has a privacy rule set up and you're doing a search for every single email, but you have a privacy rule that says, only allow me to find things in searches that were created by me, then when you do a search for everything, it won't show all of the other ones. It'll only show the ones that allow the privacy rule allows.
I understand. Perfect.
Okay.
And then lastly, where did you get that Swagger documentation again?
So if you go into the settings and then you hover over the checkbox for hide
Yeah.
Swagger, you click see reference, and then you can find where it is. It shows you the endpoint right here.
And
I'll send that in the chat too.
Okay, great. And the thing that you turned into the PDF, that Swagger documentation?
Yeah, I just Googled Swagger to PDF.
That had your special endpoints already in it?
My special endpoint. Yeah. That's Swagger. Yeah, this Swagger documentation has the endpoints all into it. It does not mention, now that I look at it, it does not mention viewing things. So, like getting a list of things, which I thought it did, but it does not. So let me just double check that, Jay, and I'll get back to you.
Okay. That was immensely helpful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries, for sure.
Yeah, that was awesome. All right, can I beg you to stay for just a couple more minutes for a couple simple questions, Justin?
Yeah.
All right, so we had a follow-up question. Kim sent it over to me. So Imran, who had been asking about the marketplace database structure, asked, why do we use option sets?
Option sets are stored on a CDN. They're stored at Cloudflare, which means they're crazy fast. And if you've ever noticed, if you have a dropdown, for example, so if I throw a dropdown on this page and I were to do a search for, let's say, like 100 items, and I were to load the page, the dropdown wouldn't load for quite a bit. It would be like chugging along, right? Doing a search is slow, but having items that are in your option sets is really fast. Like if you had 1,000 items in here, they would load like instantly, almost instantly. So option sets are way better if it's static, if it doesn't change that often.
Awesome. And then I'm going to share my screen because we just have one more question from the Facebook group. And in the future, we're going to be taking the Facebook group questions and using the vault to answer instead of office hours, but we will get those answered. So Vinay asked whether anyone had ever connected AWS to their application before. He's thinking in terms of storage, not database. His app is going to require storing a lot of different video, which, as we know, videos are heavy on size. So have you ever done that? And is there a simple way you can show like how that works?
That's funny. I've seen it done like 100 times. I have not done it.
You haven't done it?
I'm about to do it actually in an app. The bubble storage has always been more than sufficient for purposes, but I'm not storing videos. Yeah, you're definitely going to want to get that off. I don't even think that that AWS would be the best place to store videos either. I'm not convinced that that's true.
Where would you put it?
I mean, there's services like Zigio that I heard are really good for something like this.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is storing a video is one thing, but playing the video back is quite another, right? Like hosting the video for playback, and the player that you're going to use is also going to be a consideration.
exactly. If 2 or 3 people are accessing it at the same time, it's probably not going to be an issue. But if you have thousands of people who are trying to stream the video, or if it's a really long video, then yeah, you don't want to go with just straight AWS S3 bucket. I'm assuming is what you would be thinking, an S3 bucket, because it's the cheapest. But I wouldn't recommend that. There are like AWS has, or Amazon has, something called IVS, which is an interactive video service. Is more for like live streaming, but it also has CDN sped up like streaming services and things like that. You might be good to host on something like Vimeo. That might actually be a good option for you.
That's what we use
Yeah, we use
for
Vimeo.
our vault, which you can sign up for at pronocoders.com/vault. Go get signed up because we're launching any minute now. I don't even know when it's going to be. It might be that Pablo will publish it live in a moment and I will just click refresh and then it will be on this page. So please go put your email here so you can find out, because you'll get 30% off for life, $19 per month instead of $29 per month. So yeah. Sorry to interrupt, Justin.
Shameless plug. I love it. That's great. No,
all right, awesome.
I think that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then for the Zigio recommendation, I don't know if it's still going, but appsumo.com had like a great Zigio deal for a long time. They were doing like lifetime stuff. Yeah, they're still doing it. So lifetime deal for Zigio on AppSumo. So if that's something that interests you, go and take a look at it. They have lots of different Black Friday stuff going on now. Awesome. Well, that is going to do it for our office hours, our broadcast office hours for Pro NoCoders, episode 164. We're going to be back here on Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time for episode number 165. Remember the Vault launch. Please go sign up. And yeah, thank you for tuning in. We're going to move into our after hours section, which is members only. If you want to be one of the members, go sign up at pronocoders.com. Thanks, everybody.
Cheers.